Hello, dear co-creative destiny weavers. Here's Airy Fairy Flowery on a Friday, which is the topic of blooming and spreading your wings. It's also the fifth chapter of my book, The Wyrding Way. And I actually like to follow this habit of reading wise stories on Friday. And today it's a very special story which I read out for the very first time in German, since those stories are only in German, from this book, Colors of Reality. And I think it was 4 or 5 years ago that I started to read this story. Like every human is like a flower, about blooming, by Christiane Albert Vibranjetz. And so fitting to our Friday's topic of blooming. So as it happens, there was a beautiful garden with many different colored flowers and sorts of flowers. And it was around springtime. And one particular flower in this garden was thinking she was special, and she didn't want to start to bloom like all the other flowers. She thought that it was still quite cold at night and that she would be silly if she would start to bloom so early during this year. And so she stayed safely inside her bud while the very first courageous flowers started to stretch their wings and started to bloom. And then as the time passed on, it already turned into summer, and more flowers started to bloom in all the different colors and all the unique shining. But this particular flower was still thinking, no, I don't want to end up in a vase if somebody is gonna cut me. This is not for me. I don't wanna bloom. I'm still gonna continue to stay safely inside the bud. But secretly she started to be a bit jealous about all the other flowers around her who were like just happily just blooming all around her and all their glorious shining blooming selves. But still she didn't find the courage and continued to stay inside. And she started to tell to herself that, no, I'm unique, and there are storms out there, or a drought when it's too hot. There are so many good reasons to stay safely inside the bud. No, I'm not gonna bloom. But the time passed on, and it was already August, nearing autumn time. And she started to feel more and more alone and isolated. And deeply inside, she did feel that it was against her nature to not just simply spread all her petals and just bloom. She became more and more sad. And as time continued and it turned September, she did give herself this last push and said, No, I'm going to brave it now, because otherwise I will never bloom. And so I decide, to give myself this push in late September and just simply bloom. And that's what happened. She did bloom in all her glorious self. And she realized that blooming is not about like being able to accomplish something, or to wait until we become something in particular, or until the outside circumstances are right. No, this particular flower realized that it's simply about being herself, and he encourages to bloom in her most glorious, precious self, just simply being. And we don't know how long this particular flower did bloom, because she decided to bloom so late during the year. But this is not important. The most important thing is that she just gave herself this push and left her butt. It's like living our comfort zone and saying yes to being our full blossoming selves. And this is what I'm wishing all of us. This is about shining and radiating our glorious selves. Every one of us uniquely blooming. So have a beautiful blooming Friday. Many blessings. Blakadario.